Alfalfa Talk, Alfalfa 101. We're out here at the Watertown, Wisconsin Research Educational Blocks. We're looking at 20-foot blocks of forages. There's 67 different blocks of forages out here in total. We're going to talk a little alfalfa here. This was fall seeded April 28th. The weather was really wet early, like extremely wet in through June. And then we've turned dry, hot and dry here the last month or so. So we got it labeled as Alfalfa 3. Alfalfa 2, and again we got a little rain coming in, so, and then we got Alfalfa 1. So again, there's different varieties of alfalfa. There's more of a common, moderately winter, pretty winter hardy alfalfa. There's a better variety of multi-leaf, pure multi-leaf genetics out here, and then we also got another unique variety that I use in some blends that's more of a wetland type alfalfa. So the basic concepts are alfalfa doesn't like damp feet, doesn't typically like wet. So we've seen a lot of response or poor response to the wet weather, which is expected. And also we had some weed challenges because we couldn't get out and spray on a timely manner because of all that rain we were getting almost every day. And then, and so you see just a few weeds out there in spots. And again, it's looking a lot better since we've clipped these twice. And again, I'm not going to say what a variety is which in each block here, but there's the ones that tolerated wet, got all the ground, handled the wet pressure better, and the ones with a better disease package, a little bit better genetics, of course, is looking the best out here right now, which is expected. So, so many people think alfalfa is hard to grow, and it's really not. Super drought tolerant, fast growing, will last 3-4 years, in some cases longer, but so many people don't put enough potash out here. And here's another little tidbit. Half this side of these blocks are all liquid program. The far side is all dry program, and I don't know if you can gauge the difference, but it's significant. Especially when you have extreme drought and or periods of extreme wet. That's where liquids can really shine over dry for a lot of different reasons we won't cover right now. So the big thing with alfalfa is it needs to typically be cut, 3 to 4 times a year. And if it gets to be pretty dang tall and you're a common food plotter, you're putting a lot of material back on the soil and it can have some smothering effects. So that's where I would tell people, hey, take half, leave half. Don't, clip like farmers do, and you cut it and leave down to about 3-4 inches from the ground. And then you just got so much material. So in theory, there's nothing wrong with clipping 4 or 5 times if you have pure alfalfa stands. And again, you got yields. We got some blocks out here. Year one of establishment, we're looking at around 5 ton of dry matter per year. We're looking at 8 to 10 ton, pushing ton. I'm hopefully on this one block we're looking at next year, average about 6 ton of dry matter. So if you're planting a ladino clover that only yields 2 ton, common sense says if you're removing a bunch of that material, being the deer, if they're eating it, removing it, not redepositing it, then you need to provide 3 times as many nutrients. But again, if a lot of cases, if the deer aren't hammering it throughout the year, you're not always removing it, you're clipping some of those contents back, where then that doesn't mean that you wouldn't have to, that you couldn't get by without using 3 times the levels, but maybe you're at 1.5 to 2 times the nutrient levels of like a ladino heavy blend. So, and insect pressures were becoming an issue. Watching for plant diseases throughout the year. And the big thing is we got rid of all that, the aphids and the hoppers and that we were seeing out here a couple weeks ago because I foliar fed. And again, we jumped up the bricks, we increased the sugars. Insects don't attack alfalfas and that are healthy. Healthy alfalfa, high sugar alfalfa is naturally resistant to insects. So there's way more we can cover in Alfalfa 202, but just a few talking points and just showing you 3 of the different alfalfa research blocks out here at the Watertown, Wisconsin Research and Educational Property. As always, people are willing, can reach out to me. I'm always willing to answer your questions. If you ever have any questions on any of these forages, any forages in general, because I planted about everything you can imagine. I've been doing this for over 33 years. So anyway, Alfalfa 101, stay tuned for Alfalfa 202.